A game I actually didn't personally pay that much attention to before it was released was Pokemon Legends Arceus. I'm not exactly sure why, but I guess Arceus wasn't going to be my thing, or at least that's what I thought. Turns out I was wrong. I was given this game by a good friend, and pretty much from the beginning I thought there was a lot to like. Surprisingly, Pokemon Legends Arceus is also smarter or more clever than I and perhaps you first imagined. The story and setting manages to reference a real-world Japanese time period, the Meiji period specifically, no matter what that PC Mag review says, while also revealing more about the past of the Pokemon universe, not to mention there's various gameplay elements that have been introduced that back in the Gen 1 days me and my friends wished for. The game isn't perfect though, it has flaws like it's a bit bare when you're running around, and other more traditional Pokemon games certainly manage to get more content in. But nevertheless, I think Pokemon Legends Arceus has managed to toy around with some very interesting ideas that hopefully will see further refinement in the future, whether that be in a traditional paired core game or its own sort of spin-off or parallel running set of games. And it does seem that Pokemon Scarlet and Violet will inherit a lot of this game's gameplay functions. In case you don't know, I'll give you a quick breakdown of what Pokemon Legends Arceus is about. The premise is that you, the protagonist, falls from the sky. Insert isekai or Neptunia joke here. You find yourself in a past version of the Sinnoh region, though it's called the Hisui region in this time period. You get found by Professor Laventon, who helps you out. Turns out he's part of Galaxy Team. Impressed at your knack for catching Pokemon, he recommends that you join Galaxy Team, which you do after completing a trial. As part of Galaxy Team, you then help them study Pokemon, and they provide lodging in exchange, which is very handy. Even early on, it's clear how different this Pokemon game is to previous ones. It certainly looks like Breath of the Wild. Perhaps both games run on the same engine, I don't know. But Arceus is not as free roam. It's more like you can select which region you want to travel to, and then those places themselves are explorable. Other than the more open nature of this game, I think one of the highlights of Pokemon Legends Arceus is how Pokemon feel more like real and unique creatures. Some are more skittish, like little bird and bug Pokemon which run away, while others are more aggressive and attack the player when they spot you. Another thing that helps is the size difference between various Pokemon. There's even larger than average Pokemon called Alphas, who are more powerful as well. It's cool that you also have to approach each Pokemon in a different way. Skittish and easily frightened Pokemon can be caught by sneaking around in the tall grass. Yes, this time it's you in the grass, not the Pokemon. Approaching from behind works well. Aggressive tactics like running straight into battle often doesn't work because they'll just flee. On the other hand, there's Pokemon you have to fight in order to catch. Sneaking up still helps though, as catching Pokemon off guard allows you to get a move or two in before they before they realize what's going on. The idea of making Pokemon seem more real to the player works really well in this game. Some of those things, like the free roam aspect and the Pokemon on the overworld, is something we wanted as kids back in the 90s when we were playing the Game Boy games. Obviously, Pokemon have populated the overworld before, but not in this way. There's now another layer of immersion that didn't exist in previous games. The other clever or smart bit about Arceus is its setting. According to a PC Mag review, which, by the way, was also picked up by Wikipedia, is that supposedly the game takes place during the Muromachi period, which runs from the 1300s to the 1500s roughly. And Galaxy Team represents people from mainland Japan settling in Hokkaido, which Sinnoh/Hisui is based on, with the Diamond and Pearl clans representing Hokkaido's indigenous Ainu people. Frankly, I disagree with some of that. The indigenous people thing sounds right, as the themes seem to line up, but the game clearly takes place during the Meiji period, which started exactly October 23, 1868, when Japan was forced by the US to end its policy of national seclusion. And you can tell visually it lines up because of the Victorian architecture. Because Japan feared colonization, they ended up bringing in technology and advisors from foreign nations, like medicine from Germany and Switzerland, railway tech from the UK, and many things like that. In this Pokemon game, you can see that Team Galaxy represents this influx of Western tech and lifestyle. From the Victorian architecture of their Jubilife village headquarters to a lot of the period Western clothing of the time that some characters wear. It certainly contrasts with the other traditional buildings in town. Other villagers will even bring up their reluctance in trusting Galaxy Team, During the Meiji period, that was a common theme as they saw Western influence creep into more and more Japanese aspects of life. This was all a very rapid process too, so there was some resistance by various people. While the Diamond and Pearl clans do fit as representing the Ainu people of Hokkaido, like I said, as they have that, the whole coexist with nature sort of lifestyle. But I also think they represent the established clans of Japan at the time and their slow decline in importance. The current clan leaders in the game aren't exactly friendly with each other, but they don't fight like their predecessors did. Rather, they're more preoccupied by staying neutral to preserve whatever status they may still have. But this whole idea of having, a lot of the Pokemon tech, as it were, come from a different country, come from Western countries, is really interesting. That means there's a lot more to learn in terms of where all of that stuff comes from. Could we have maybe other Pokemon Legends games? It certainly seems like there could be. Like let's say if they were set in maybe a European country or a North American country. It seems like they made an opportunity for themselves to create a series that may run parallel to the regular Pokemon games. That way, the stories can also reference some real-life time periods, without having to do that with the mainline, paired games. Because those always take place during the present time. At least I think that would be a good idea of handling things. Speaking of handling things, I just also want to mention something about the gameplay. The importance of the Pokedex is also really good in Pokemon Arceus. I mean, some of the stuff is a little bit tedious, like, you have to catch it this many times and, whatever it may be. But just the fact that you get rewarded for catching Pokemon a different way or see them perform different moves in battle, it kind of encourages you to not just catch a Pokemon and then, that's it, right? You'll observe them for a bit more. And I think that's a good concept, but perhaps there's ways to make that a little bit less tedious. Because I find it a little bit annoying, like having to try and level up just by, catching... Whoops. Apparently catching something falling off my table. No, what I was going to say is that, there's so much repetition that you have to do, like trying to level up. So if they can balance that a little bit better, I think that would end up working in their advantage. Because that concept works very well, I think. So yeah, those are some of the points I like about Pokemon Legends Arceus. I think this game has been a pretty decent test bed for new ideas. Let's see where that'll lead the Pokemon franchise next. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet does seem to take these mechanics further. I'm just surprised that those games will come out later this year. Seems quite close together there in terms of release date. Given the time frame, that must mean they probably would have gone ahead with their release, whether or not Pokemon Legends Arceus did well or not. Here's hoping that Scarlet and Violet doesn't suffer from this game's more boring bits. But that's basically all I have to say. Let me know what you think in the comments. Remember that you can support the channel by becoming a Patreon member at patreon.com/ysn. You can watch videos before they're out, and you'll also be in the know of what videos are coming up because of exclusive updates. You can even get your name on the end screen like these people here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again in the next video.